So we are done discussing about the places that Rizal go during his trip in Europe. So right now we are going to know what is all about in El Filibusterismo. El Filibusterismo, Jose Rizal wrote his second novel, which was continuation of the Noli Me Tangere in Brussels, and he finished it in Biarritz, Madrid. So, um, occupied by the magnificent place and his romance with Nelly Bousted. So, in March 29, 1891, the year of his departure from Biarritz to Paris, he finished the manuscript of El Filibusterismo and he completed the revision on May 30, 1891. Ready for printing, he searched for a cheaper printing shop and he did find a publisher, F. Mayer, Van Loo Press, number 66, Vianderen Street, that published his books on an installment basis. He pawned his jewels in order to pay the down payment, an early partial payment during the printing of the novel. He had received some funds from Basa and Rodriga Arias, but printing was suspended because of insufficient funds, and then Valentin Ventura in Paris helped him because he learned and about results yang kalisod because of Rizal. So in September 13, 1891, the novel named came off at the press in Ghent. He immediately sent copies to Basa, to Sixto Lopez in Hong Kong, and to his friends Valentin S. Ventura in Paris, and to his friends in the Philippines. So the novel was praised to the skies by Filipino patriots in foreign lands and in the Philippines. The member of the Filipino colony of Barcelona published a tribute in La Publicidad, a Barcelona newspaper, evilizing the novel's original style, which is comparable only to Sublime. Alexander Dumas and Manuel Defoe offered as a model a precious jewel in the decade literature of Spain. So the liberal Madrid newspaper El Nuevo Regimen serialized the novel of his issues of October 1891. So Rizal dedicated El Filibusterismo to the martyrs, the Father Gomez, Father Burgos, and Father Zamora, known as Gomburza. Their martyrdom, which Pasiano related to him when the way a boy in Calamba was forgotten. So after knowing what is the story behind the writing of Jose Rizal in his second work, El Filibusterismo, let us know what is the story all about. So we have here some summary of El Filibusterismo. 13 years after Jose Rizal left the Philippines, Juan Crisostomo Ibarra, the main character from Noli Me Tangere, returned as Simon, a rich jeweler sporting a beard and blue-tinted glasses, and a confidant of the Governor-General of the Philippines, Captain General. Abandoning his idealism, he became a cynical saboteur, the titular filibustero, seeking revenge against the Spanish-Philippine system, responsible for his misfortunes by plotting a revolution. Simon Mengel's system, responsible for his misfortunes by plotting a revolution. So, Captain General to mismanage the country's affairs so that a revolution will break out. He cynically sided with the upper classes, encouraging them to commit abuses against the masses so that the latter would be encouraged to revolt against the oppressive Spanish colonial regime. This time, he did not attempt to fight the authorities through legal means, but through violent revolution using the masses. Simon had reasons for instigating a revolution. First is to rescue Maria Clara from the convent, and second, to get rid of ills and evils of Philippine society. His true identity is discovered by a now grown-up Basilio while visiting the grave of his mother, Sisa. As Simons was digging near the grave site for his buried treasure, Simon spared Basilio's life and has asked him to join at his planned revolution against the government. After the tragic misfortunes of the latter's family, Basilio declined the offer as he still hopes that the country's condition will improve. Basilio at this point is graduating student of medicine at the Ateneo Municipal de Manila after the death of his mother Sisa and the disappearance of his younger brother Crispin. Basilio heeded the advice of the dying boatman Elias and traveled to Manila to study. Basilio was adopted by Captain Tiago after Maria Clara entered the convent. With Captain Tiago's help, Basilio was able to go to Colegio de San Juan de Letran, where at first he is frowned upon by his shabby appearance, where he also experienced at Ateneo. Captain Tiago's confessor, Father Irene, was making Captain Tiago's health worse by giving him an opium, even as Basilio tried hard to prevent Captain Tiago from smoking it. He and other students wanted to establish a Spanish language academy so that opposition from the Dominican friars of the University of Santo Tomas. With the academy was established, however, they will only serve as caretakers of the school, not as the teacher. Dejected and defeated, they hold a mock celebration of a pansiteria where a spy for the friars witnesses the proceedings. Simons, for his part, kept in close contact with the bandit group of Cabezang Tales, a former cabeza de barangay who suffered misfortunes at the hands of the friars. Once a farmer owning the prosperous sugarcane plantation and a cabeza de barangay, a barangay head, he was forced to give everything to the greedy and unscrupulous Spanish friars. His son Tano, who became a civil guard, was captained by bandits. His daughter Julie had to work as a maid to get enough ransom money for his freedom, and his father Tandang Celo suffered a stroke and became mute. Before joining the bandits, Tales took Simon's revolver, while that once belonged to his house for the night. As payment, left a locket that one belonged to Simon. Maria Clara, to further strengthen the revolution, Simon has Quiroga, a Chinese man hoping to be appointed consul to the Philippines, smuggles weapons into the country using Quiroga's bazaar as in front. Simon wished to attack during a stage play with all the enemies in attendance. He, however, abruptly aborted the attack when he learned from Basilio that Maria Clara had died earlier that day in the convent. A few days after the mock celebration by the students, the people were agitated with disturbing posters were found displayed around the city. The authorities accused the student present in the pansiteria of agitation and disturbing peace accused and had them arrested. Basilio, although not present at the mock celebration, was also arrested. Captain Tiago died after learning of the incident and, as stated in his will, forgotten by Father Irene, all his possessions were given to the church. That's all the summary of the El Filibusterismo. So, that's only my part in chapter 6. So, another reporter will continue this reporting in Chapter 6. Thank you and God bless.